And we're live with Buckso.
Howdy doody.
Honestly, guys, this is Buckso, and she's just been going, where should I look on the camera? Oh, what should I look? Should I look here or here? And this is because Buckso isn't just an entrepreneur. She's also an actress, and she's been in like proper programs that you've seen and adverts that you've seen. So Buckso, let's get the exciting things out the way first. You know, the celeb that I'm talking to. It must be 2 years ago, 3 years ago when that advert came out.
No, you're talking. Are you on about the famous shopping place that you get your frozen food from? No, actually, that was 2013.
It wasn't, because we knew you, and we've only been going since 2014.
No, it was because it happened the year before, and that's why you knew me, because I told you I'd done that. Yes.
So tell me about that.
Oh my gosh. So guys, thanks to anybody that's joining tonight. I'm very aware that I want to make sure I'm looking in the right place. And so I'm not going to look to the left. Yes, I am, which is probably the right. So it was Iceland. Who's seen the Iceland advert with Peter Andre? Yes, that indeed was the advert that Claire's talking about. It was one of my first, most exciting jobs ever back in the day. So 2013 that was, yes, 2013. And
there was one of you browsing an aisle with him. There was one on a bus. I remember.
That's right. Yes. So the bus one was a longer advert, and the one in the aisles was the shorter Christmas one, because they did two adverts. So I was very lucky to have that.
Yeah, really lucky. And obviously you've been in other programs as well. Do you want to give a quick synopsis of your actress career?
So basically I started back in 2008 as a supporting artist, which is background artists, those people that you see in the background that really were, I believe, make a film, a program, because without them you'd have a very boring screen to look at. So I thought that would be the only thing that I could ever do, because I'd never had any qualifications, I'd never had any GCSEs. Although I took drama at school, I never got anything higher. I got 4 Ds, 2 Es and 2 Fs, so I didn't actually even get any GCSEs. And I didn't go to
the group, sorry.
That's all right. And then I didn't get any I didn't go to drama school or anything. So I thought really supporting artists was the only thing I would ever get to be in the field of acting. And I just was quite happy to do that. So I did that for a year. And then a friend of mine said, I've just been in contact with an agent in London through something he was doing, research work, as a researcher on a program. And he said, I think, he'd like you. Do you want to meet him? I couldn't believe it. I was like, he does know that I'm like no qualifications. I'm a supporting artist.
I'm not a proper
not a proper actress. And he goes, well, yeah, but I think he'll love you. So I went to London, auditioned for him. Not very well, actually. It was quite badly done, but I took direction off him. I took direction well. So, I listened. He gave me orders, and I took, and I gave him what he wanted. And he took me on. And 3 months later, I got my first job, which is on Coronation Street. So my first, and I said, and everybody just say to me,
just a minor job, yeah.
Yeah, the first one, 3 months in, I'd got nothing before that, but the 3 months in, I was on Coronation Street as the registrar that married Carla and Tony together. So
it must have been buzzing, and the experience you get from that, it gives you that confidence boost alone. And
to be honest, it took a while for me to get to that point. I would say I've probably only just really achieved that point 3 years ago when I when I got the West End. So for me, it's been a very slow process, and that's fine. But I got, what was it? What are we in now? 2018. So yeah, it's taken me near enough 10 years, I would say, to say that I've kind of made a dent in the industry.
And it's not, I mean, I don't know, I'm not an actress, but everything you hear is that being an actress isn't an easy thing to do. There isn't, unless you're in a soap on a regular basis, you've not got that steady income.
That's right.
Leads us into you being an entrepreneur as well.
Exactly. And this is the message I'm trying to put across to, my personal belief nowadays is that the job for life is gone. There isn't anybody out there that's going to have a job now for 40 years. I think my generation is the one that kind of breaks that mold. My kids, I encourage them to do 3 or 4 different things, go and find out what their passions are. And this is one thing I'm working on at the moment with one part of the coaching that I do for actors is not let that define them. And I think that works across the board anyway in whatever we do. Don't let what you do define who you are, because when you lose that or it goes to pot, you're left feeling useless, bereft of anything else, because you've never actually channeled your energies in anything else. So yes, I do do all the bits and bobs with my day-to-day life. Would you like me to list what it is that I do? Would you like to go through them?
Take me a job and you do it for me.
So I've been very, very, very keen interest. I've had a very keen interest in personal development, self-development since I had twins 15 years ago. And I went through a fairly traumatic situation with my family 20 years ago where I was essentially cut off because I married somebody that wasn't of an Indian descent. 20 years now, we've been together in May. And as a result of that, I lost all my identity. I lost everybody and everything I knew about. So I was in a very dark place. And in the first 4 years of getting together with my husband, I lost my family. He lost his brother. We got married. We had twins in first 4 years of being together. And I never actually took the time to respect that about myself. And I've only started to do that in the last 18 months.
Digest that happened and acknowledge everything that happened.
Exactly.
It's so easy for us to get on that treadmill of everything's okay. I need to be a mum. I need to be a wife. I need to do... I'm putting on that facade for everybody else to see.
And I did that for 20 years. I've let my head rule my heart for 20 years because I shut this down because I had to cope from day to day. I had to cope with them being 6 weeks early, not seeing them. They didn't bring them home for 3 weeks, and I was going to the hospital every day for 6 hours at a time to feed them twice. I wasn't feeding them. I mean, like bottle feeding them twice a day. And I shut down because I couldn't let myself think I was leaving them on their own. I just had to shut down and be mechanical about everything I did. And I survived through that. It helped me to function, but it didn't actually help me to grow, develop myself on a soul level. So in 2003, I started looking into healing myself and sorting myself out because I wasn't a very nice person to be around.
How old were the point?
They were 2 at the time. They were a year old at the time when I started looking into
so this is still
working on
young.
Very raw. Yes, time to do it. So that's where Reiki came into my life, and it's helped over the years. I never did it with a view to doing it on people. It was more about sorting me out and myself and my issues. And for the first 7 years, I feel I kind of was a bit cheated out of my sort of time with the kids because I wasn't compos mentis. I now know back then I was going through what could only be described as a dark depression, and I wasn't a very nice person to live with, and all sorts of things culminated as a result of being that person. But recently I discovered a year ago, because Reiki was all good and it did everything that it could for me, and I've always been into healing work, but for me I needed something else now. So quite by accident I came across something called Access Bars, Access Consciousness. You can go to the website accessconsciousness.com to find out all about it in greater detail. But a friend of mine sent me an email and said, oh, this is what I was talking about with you. And I read the email and I said, no, we've never discussed this, but I'm going to look into it. And I did, and I researched it and was, but I can't even say the word intrigued. I don't think the word intrigued does it justice. I was just bowled over by what they said this did for you. So rather than pay for a treatment, I thought, I don't do things by halves. I'm just going to learn.
You hadn't even had a treatment?
No, didn't even have a treatment. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to train to be this person, to be an Access Bars.
Tell us more about what Access Bars is, because I don't really understand it.
Right.
Or know
so, I don't want to get too technical because it is a bit, it gets a bit scientific-y, and I don't want to go down that route because I'm not a scientist. And I trust the scientists who are involved for their information. There's 32 points on the head, and you can't do it on yourself because of the positioning of the hands. And basically, they are symmetrical, and you hold the positions for about 4 or 5 minutes. The longest part is held behind the ear, which is the implant band, it's called. You hold that for 15 minutes at the beginning of the session. Basically, in each area is responsible for a thought process that we have about money, creativity, creating thought forms, time, communication, aging. I can't think top of my head now. I should have had a list of it in front of me, actually. That's how planned I am.
It's not a test.
Prepared I was. And basically, we've got the bar of electrical energy that runs across. This is electrical energy that runs across, and it dissipates the energy from that bar. So if you have particular thoughts about money, if you have self-limiting thoughts about your gratitude, peace, calmness, kindness, everything that's associated with an emotion, there is a point on the brain that is associated with that, and it dissipates any thoughts that you have about it at that given time during the session. And what it does, it's not going to come back again. It's like when you defrag your computer and you Control-Alt-Delete it, you've still got the temporary files in your hard drive in your tower. So you've got to actually defrag your computer because it's slowing down and holding everything down. And what you want to do is create more space. And basically that's what you're doing for the brain, because the brain is the best computer in the world. We're not accessing as much as we can because it's full of rubbish from lifetimes, from past issues, past traumas, things you don't even remember. Apparently, if you've seen in operations where they take the cranium off half, and if they put the electrode on a part of the brain, a thought from that time in your life can pop into your head when it's activated. We don't access those because we don't know how to do it. So basically, this is the whole point of accessing your consciousness, so that you create more space in your brain to allow you to create a channel between your intuition, your higher self, your gut, whatever you want to call it. It can't get through. It's like, I like to use the analogy of standing in a room full of people. You're finding your friend. You don't know where they are because all these people are in the way. So what you've got to do is move these people out of the way until you get to the point where you see your friend waving at the back of the room. Now imagine if you got rid of all those people bit by bit that are doing no good for you in your life because they can't get to your friend. And that's a thought process. That's you and your inner self, your consciousness, your guide, your higher, whatever you want to call it. And the whole point of being in alignment, which I know you know all about, because you're doing your energy alignment method at the minute. Once you get congruent, I let myself live 20 years with my head ruling my heart because I had to function. When people say, oh, don't let your head rule your heart, or you must let your heart rule your head, there is no such thing. What you need to do is get this in alignment with the brain. Once you're working in congruence with your brain and your heart, that is the state of nirvana. Yeah, that's it. That's your state of nirvana. That's where you need to be at. That's where people who do Kundalini yoga 4 hours at a time get to that state.
If people say have an issue with, not an issue, have resistances about money and
exactly money blocks, yes.
And you say that you can do it there and then and clear them,
right? So
they would only need one session with you.
No. Okay, so this is the thing. Like with anything that you have that is a healing modality or something that helps you along your way, like with counselling, you don't have one session and fix your stuff after one session. I personally, if I could, which I think I'm working on because I've just trained somebody up in Derby to do it, so we will do swaps. I'm so happy about that. So I would have it done weekly. Personally, I would have it done weekly. I've had it done more than 10 times, which is the recommended amount of times to have a session of bars. 10 times. I've been to swaps. I've been at it over a year now. And when I'm giving the treatment to somebody, it's not like, oh, did you get anything? Did you pick anything up? It's not like Reiki. It's purely scientific what we do with the whole process, you know. It's not an energy thing. I'm feeling your pain or anything like that. But I also, if I have the same thought process as the person that's lying there and I have the same beliefs, my bars can also run at the same time. I can actually say, run bars for money, creativity and gratitude, but never more than 3 at a time. Otherwise, a serious headache will ensue.
Yeah.
Yes. So you don't want to have too much going on. Yeah, 3 at a time. But no, it's never one session, although people will definitely feel a benefit from that. Worst case scenario, it's like the best massage you've ever had. Best case scenario, life-changing.
I love anything on my head as well. Let's move on because we've only got 5 minutes left. So you've mentioned your access bars, and so obviously you're coaching people using that. You also
using the teachings, some of the teachings, yeah.
Yeah. You also touched on coaching actors.
Yes.
Earlier.
Yep.
Who else?
So my speciality in the normal world, because obviously you can have something specific. You've got to niche down on what you want to do. You've got to really harness who it is you want to approach. Mm-hmm. And it's the 30 to 40-year-old woman who feels that her life or business isn't where they feel it should be and can be. And what we do is we find about what their real passion is in life, first and foremost, and then take the necessary steps, not the steps that they want to take, or they want to try out the necessary steps, which are the ones that nobody wants to do. We take the necessary steps to bring about phenomenal change to their life. And that involves with people that are local, hands-on, the bars sessions are included in that as well.
Awesome. It sounds amazing. I'm slightly concerned that I can't use my mouse right now. So I can't put anything on the screen, which I'm wondering if the battery's gone.
No
so
problem.
what has been the most difficult thing for you since, when would you say you recognize yourself as being an entrepreneur?
I would say once I'd opened my mind to, because when I had the twins, that was the catalyst for change for me. I didn't know that until now. I know that now. 15 years ago, that happened to me. And I did have this thing of, why me? Why do I would have gone into management, higher management at the railway where I was working. But I was just like, I had to leave all of that behind. So for me, that was the catalyst. And I had to actually assess, right, what is it that I like? I like being a beauty therapist. I like beauty, trained as a beauty therapist. But I had to let that go because I couldn't give my clients 24 hours notice if I had to go to London for a casting. So I had to let that go, which I was quite sad about. But I still have a keen interest in all things to do with anti-aging and health still. But I realized then that I couldn't, as a creative, couldn't do one thing. And I don't think that going forward, anybody should assume that doing the one thing is the done thing. You have to have several streams of income, which is why I'm also involved heavily with a company that focuses on nutrigenomics, which is the way forward.
Yellow
pill, yes.
Which I know you started coming up to 2 years ago, maybe? Last year?
Yes.
2 years ago.
Last year, yeah.
And it changed your life.
It has to the extent of my energy levels are through the roof. After having twins, I never thought I'd see sleep the way I had it before the kids, honestly. I don't need length of time, but with the 6 hours that I get, the depth of sleep that I get is unbelievable. Nobody believes I'm 45 when I tell them. I don't feel 45. I'll be 46 at the end of the year. I don't feel, my energy levels are through the roof. My skin's taken on a whole new look. My thought processes before I had the bars, my clarity, my brain fog is gone. And what it's actually doing is it's slowing down the aging process. Not reversing it, it's slowing down the aging process by taking this all natural supplement once a day, because I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis back in last year, yes. And I was heartbroken at the fact that I might have to take these tablets the rest of my life and have the side effects that come with that. But this pill has softened the blow somewhat, and I don't have the sticky feeling, because they're like very low dose of cancer drug that you have when you're a rheumatoid arthritis. And I was really concerned. That really ruined my skin. The breakouts that I had were unbelievable on that.
So
confidence.
Is it a natural product?
It's all natural. It's got turmeric, ashwagandha, green tea extract, milk thistle, and bacoba. And synergistically combined in their own patented formulas, they trigger something called the NRF2 pathway, which is our own body's way of making antioxidants.
You've learned that one, haven't you?
Honestly, I've got that off to a T. That is because it can get bamboozling when you have too much scientific information. Yeah. And NRF2 stands for something that's like this long, but I'm not going to say all that words. So just break it down to that. But it truly is. It's an investment in myself, but I'm on it for life. I can't risk going back to what I was if I stop taking it.
No.
So
and knowing, for me. Obviously, that we're aging, things would only
I know. Well, oxidative stress. Nobody gets away with that.
You also, and I'm sure in the past I've seen you calling yourself something like connecting with people, collaborating. You're
right. Yes. I've got an events company I've set up because I find that not enough is done to raise the profile of women in business in this area. And I'm a very big advocate of women speakers. So I want to create a platform where women speakers have the platform to speak rather than us giving our power to men all the time. Not because of any other reason, except that it's only men that are out there doing the speaking. There's not enough women out there, and I want to create a new wave of women speakers within the East Midlands that have a platform to tell their story, because everybody's got a story to tell that somebody else will benefit from hearing from.
That's very true. Now, I can't move my mouse, so we're just going to talk until this switches us off.
Oh, brilliant. Sorry. So, guys, we'll apologise now.
So it should switch off after 20 minutes. So it could go in the next minute, or it's going to give us a freebie. I'm not sure.
Excellent. Well, just touch about my event then in September, BC Lifestyle Events.
I was just about to say, have you not hooked up is the wrong phrase of choice. Have you not collaborated with Lucy
Yes.
West?
Yes, yeah.
Lucy,
So
really.
BC stands for Biz Collaborations, because I do think that businesses collaborating together raises everybody's profile and, well, creates profit. You know, passion creates your profit at the end of the day. If you're doing what you're passionate about, it can only make you money, because we tend to be better at what we are passionate about than what we don't tend to like doing. Do you know what I mean? So I'm raising the profile of local businesses, and I want to bring the right businesses to the public. So if I'm having a wellness event in September at the Derby Conference Centre on the 16th, I want to make sure that people that come along are accessing stuff that you can't just get all over the place, that you can only get from going to this person's shop.
So are there speakers at the event then?
I've got a section where
it's like where the stalls,
exhibitors, and I give the exhibitors the opportunity to also speak. They have a slot, 45-minute slot that they can use, where they pay a bit extra for, that they can raise the profile of their stand and just say, come and see me, I'm over there on that stand talking about my whatever. Because sometimes...
Are you still looking for exhibitors?
Still looking for exhibitors, yes, yeah. We're still looking for exhibitors. We've not got a massive push on yet, because I appreciate people say, oh, it's 6 months
away. 5 months away.
I'll get in touch when thingy, such and such. But our early bird ends on the 30th of April for the stand holders. It's £65 for a stand. It will go up to 80 after that. But we've sent our first MailChimp out. So we're working on MailChimp at the minute, trying to get that to function. So we're tentatively going down that route and seeing what converts from there. But it's all a learning curve.
I mean, MailChimp's fantastic now. You can do landing pages on there.
Well, yes, I'm looking forward to doing a landing page. I need to do a landing page. Is that something you do as an aside?
No, it's within it. It will be create campaign, create advert, create campaign, or create landing page.
No charge?
No charge.
Wow, that's amazing, because that is something I need to do for the coach. That I've learned something there.
So I don't even know I don't know whether this side of the screen's working or not, because I don't know whether anybody's messaged. I don't know how I'm going to switch off.
Have we got any other questions that we could talk about?
I don't know, because we haven't from anybody, because I can't see any coming through. But the most important thing is that BeLive.tv have actually sent me a message whilst we've been online, and since they sent that, I've not been able to do anything.
So okay, well, we'll have a natural close. We'll have a natural close, shall we?
Here's a question I always try to end on. If ABW could help you with anything in your business right now, what would it be?
Creating some order in my chaos. I've realised, and I think people have to understand as an entrepreneur, own your weaknesses, know what you're good at, and know what you're rubbish at, and it's okay. I've got to create some modules for this new program I'm devising, and I don't like the minutiae of detail, and there's nothing wrong with it. That's okay. I own up to that. I can speak it, but just get somebody else to package it for me. Put it all nicely pretty on a piece of paper. Is
that something you're wanting there? Somebody to package it for you, or somebody to write it? Because obviously you want to be at the forefront of it. So if you're delivering modules,
that's it. I just want somebody to put it down in a format that it's supposed to be in, as opposed to what I think it should be in. You know what I mean? Because, like I say, I haven't come from an educated background, and that's mainly because I don't like to write reams and reams of words and essays. I can tell a good story, but I just don't like to sit there and write it out. I want to go like that, and it appears.
Yeah, I think we'd all like a bit of that in our lives.
But no, a little bit of order in my chaos would be nice.
It would be in everybody's life, mine particularly. But hopefully in a few months' time, this will actually be an office and not a gaming room.
I was going to say, are you in an office right now, in an actual room?
No. I'm in a room. It's our spare room, which is
in your house. Yeah.
In my house, which is Mike's gaming room.
Comfy chair though.
Well, I'm sat on 3 pillows because otherwise I'd be down here.
Oh, no.
So yes, but this is we're having the loft converted. That's going to be office gaming, and then this will be my office.
Excellent. You need to have that space.
2 years. Well, yes, I had it before we moved in together. And I've been under the stairs ever since.
Sacrifices like Harry Potter. Sacrifices have to be made there, don't they? As the entrepreneur that we are, sacrifices you have to know.
Sacrificed enough. Right. Yeah. I'm just going to switch the computer off, Buckso.
Okay, shall I stop the camera then?
You can stop the camera. I can't.
Okay. Thanks very much. Cheers, Claire.
Thank you very much. Don't forget to go onto the comments and put the links to everything, because I've not been able to put them on.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right, we'll do. Yeah.
Or
Lovely.
Feel Better with Buckso, your bucksodylan.com, and
That's it.
anything else you want to link to.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. I'm just going to cover the camera now, guys.